Ladies and gents, my name is Caitlin Jong, and I'm here today to introduce our very own Taylor Ann Wilson. We all know her as the world-renowned Olympic-level gymnast that she was destined to become since birth. However, like many of you recall, I specifically remember the time she broke her ankle, but everyone thought she died because she didn't come to school for a very long time. Of course, she has suffered many injuries since then, but I think I can speak for everyone when I say her hard work and dedication, even after a fall such as this, makes her one of the most resilient people I know. Taylor Ann is truly passionate about everything she does and is always there whenever someone is in need of a favor or is just simply in need of a friend. I know she is about to share some very insightful words with all of us today, so I present the tiny but ever so mighty Taylor Ann Wilson.
Picture this. It is the middle of September 2014. We, the class of 2019, are in the 8th grade. You all are just enjoying your morning, chatting with friends, when Mr. Love walks in and says, "We're having a class meeting." You sit down and, of course, especially after 7th grade, ask the question, "Are we in trouble?" He says no and proceeds to tell you that something difficult has happened to your classmate, and that was me. What was the first thing you assumed? That I was dead. Surprising turn of events, I am not dead. Instead, that was the day that my ankle was shattered. As told that day, I had to have 2 screws put in place to repair the bones. Now, as many of you know, I am a high-level competitive gymnast, and an injury like this is a devastating defeat. After surgery, I had a recovery time of about 2 months that consisted of a wheelchair, crutches, and a boot. I had to work my way through each stage. I made it through and was able to partially return and compete in 2 out of the 4 events in about 3 months. While I was coming back and throughout the following year, I noticed the screws in my ankle felt kind of uncomfortable. But since I had never had screws before, I had no idea if the pain was normal or something that needed to be dealt with seriously. Almost exactly 1 year after the first surgery, I made a difficult decision and went back to have a second surgery to remove the painful screws. It turned out to be one of the best decisions I made. I didn't know how much the screws hindered my ability to do gymnastics until they were gone. Therefore, the next season was the best I had ever had. I finished my season with a state championship title and a second-place regional finish. Fast forward to junior year, the most important year for recruiting, and I am thrown in the dust once again. A bad landing on a new dismount off bars broke my 3rd metatarsal. The hope was that I would be in the cast for 6 weeks and be able to come back in time for state meet. No such thing occurred. Instead, I had complications from the injury. I still had a lot of pain, even though x-rays had shown that the bone was completely healed. I ended up having to get an MRI that revealed that I had a large number of bone bruises all around my foot. So basically, this meant that I could kiss the dream of going to state that year goodbye. My recruit season was over before it even truly began. Due to this devastating injury, I lost myself. I wasn't sure if I still loved the sport that I've done for 14 years. I felt as though I had fallen into a hole and couldn't pull myself out. I thought I was burnt out. I sunk into myself and was drowning in my own thoughts. Someone saw this in me. She told me that I needed to talk, that I didn't need to suppress my feelings. So I finally talked. It wasn't until after this, and about a week before writing this speech, that I realized that we have an amazing support system right here. For example, Mr. Love was the first person to come visit me in the hospital after my surgery. Miss House went to bat for me many times to make sure I was getting my work done and that I was okay. Miss Parker has listened to my problems so many times, and I can't even remember how many teachers that I've ranted to. Take advantage of the people around you. They are all right here. Finally, after all of my experiences, I want to leave you with this. When you feel like quitting and something just won't let you do it, then you're reminded that there is a purpose in your pain. No matter how hard it gets, remember that there is an entire community of people here in this place that are willing to listen and help you. Never be afraid to ask. Don't be drowning and not ask for a lifesaver, because you never know what one person can do for you. Thank you.